The U.S. Supreme Court heard a case coming from right here in Columbia. Good afternoon, I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. The case brings up one of the most important legal battles on the separation of church and state in recent years. Trinity Lutheran Church here in Columbia sued the state of Missouri after it was denied state funds. The church had applied for money from a state program that helps nonprofits resurface playgrounds with recycled tires to make them safer. The Missouri Constitution includes a provision that prohibits using public money to serve a religious institution. The court heard arguments from both attorneys today.
I think it was a good day in the court. There were a lot of great questions by all the justices. And I think the theme that came out was what we emphasize in our briefs, and that is if the government is going to open up some sort of a neutral benefit program, then it can't discriminate against religious organizations simply because of their religious status.
The state appreciates having bright lines that allow it to know what it can and can't do. This has been a bright line. We hope that there is the kind of guidance that gives us bright lines in the future.
Outside of the hearings, dozens rallied in support of the church. The rally was organized by a group called Concerned Women for America. The group's CEO said they were there to support religious liberty, children, and freedom of speech. Supporters of Trinity Lutheran Church say the state chose to protect some children, but not those who attend the church's preschool.
Let's be clear, the playground is open to the public. It's used after hours on the weekends by the entire community. Over 90% of children who attend Trinity Lutheran Preschool don't even attend the church.
The High Court's ruling will be widespread. 38 states, in addition to Missouri, also prohibit spending state tax dollars on religious institutions. States argue the bans are necessary to keep government from interfering in religious affairs. A ruling is expected in June.
With Earth Day just days away, the budget of the EPA is uncertain under new Director Scott Pruitt. Ahead of Pruitt's visit to Missouri tomorrow, green energy advocates voiced their concerns on coal energy regulations and support of renewable solutions. KOMU8's Chris Joseph is in Columbia to tell you how Missouri could be affected by the EPA downsizing.
I'm here at the Columbia Municipal Power Plant where coal has been phased out since 2015, but that's not the case across the state. The green energy advocates cited heart disease and asthma caused by sulfur in the air as health risks of EPA downsizing. They also said increased investment should be put toward green energy, creating jobs and an economic boost. A speaker from Missouri Sun Solar argued making money is bipartisan.
You get solar choice, you get energy choice, you get economic freedom, you get to create an investment on your home with a roof that before was just creating heat from the sunlight. Now they're creating tens of thousands of dollars worth of energy.
Associated Electric Cooperative is hosting Pruitt tomorrow and said in a statement, quote, "Working together, we can make sure responsible and affordable energy remains the cornerstone of our rural electric cooperative system." Pruitt will be at the Thomas Hill Energy Center at 10 a.m. tomorrow. KMU8 will have a news crew there to cover it all. Live in Columbia, Chris Joseph, KMU8 News.
Making ends meet at the end of the month is a challenge for most of us and an even bigger challenge for others.
A new state program will allow people with disabilities to sign up for a tax-exempt savings account without having to lose their federal benefits. KOMU8's Desiree Evans joins us to tell us how this program could affect those who open an account.
When it comes to bills, there's everything from cable to the car to children. But could you imagine only having $827 a month to pay for all of these bills? I got the chance to interview someone who does just this.
June the 12th, 1986, it was a 100-degree day.
And a day Max Lewis will never forget.
I had a spinal cord injury due to a diving accident that put me in this wheelchair where more or less I'm paralyzed from my chest down.
Lewis has found that one of his biggest challenges is not having the function of his limbs.
After my accident, I got my Bachelor's of Science in Health Education, Master's of Education in Health and Wellness.
But the finances to help him function.
My maximum monthly amount comes to $827. It's hard to save money, but sometimes it's possible. You just have to budget really well.
A program through the state of Missouri could help make saving money easier for people with disabilities. It's called the Achieving a Better Life Experience, or ABLE account.
It allows them an opportunity to receive some monies or save some monies in an account that does not inhibit them with an asset test in terms of their eligibility for public benefits. I think that it's all about helping people with disabilities themselves and their families create a greater sense of independence. It is leveling the playing field, if you will.
Lewis says he has a trust that he uses during emergencies, but he hopes the ABLE accounts prove beneficial.
I think it's going to be beneficial to those who may have bills that exceed what they can pay for out of one check.
The launch for the program is Monday, April 24th. In the studio, Desiree Evans, KMU8 News.
A retired judge is talking to the Boone County Judicial and Law Enforcement Task Force tonight to present his study. Last week, retired Judge Gary Oxenhandler reported the Boone County Jail is overpopulated and housing costs are too expensive. He says to cut the numbers, they could use alternatives to jail for people who are not considered dangerous. Tonight, we'll have more on what the task force plans to do about it. Residents near Bagnell Dam at the Lake of the Ozarks probably heard some loud construction noises this morning. That's because Ameren began phase 1 of its $52 million dam repair project today. Crews started blasting water and scrubbing concrete to remove old weathered surfaces. After the cleaning, Director Warren Witt says Ameren will install new support anchors. Witt does not expect the 18-month project to impact tourists or residents.
We scheduled this construction to all occur during the weekdays. During the daytime, because it is a pretty noisy evolution. Obviously on weekends there's lots of tourism traffic down here. We've reduced the noise. We don't want to be making all the noise on the weekends. And
Ameren does not expect road closures or water levels to change. The dam is stable now, but Ameren says these fixes will make it usable for decades to come. The last repairs were more than 30 years ago.
The Columbia School District is looking for its first chief equity officer. The candidate will replace Deputy Superintendent Dana Clippard, who is retiring. The new employee will take over the Deputy Superintendent's role, and a reorganization of the Superintendent's office will occur. The position is becoming more prevalent in school districts seeking support when it comes to programs allowing equal opportunities for students.
I think it'll be great for there to be an individual who becomes an expert in those areas as far as being able to create consistency and implementation across the school district.
The position is posted on the district's website. Applications are being accepted.
Missouri Military Academy in Mexico is now the only military school in the state after the closing of Wentworth Military Academy last week. KMU8's Jared Kohler tells us how the closing impacts MMA and Mid-Missouri.
Wentworth and MMA have both taught students for more than 125 years each, but now MMA is looking to take in Wentworth staff and students as the state's only military institution. MMA President Charles McGeorge says economic pressure on private schools is at an all-time high with rising college costs and debt. Wentworth cited lower enrollment, rising costs, and an aging campus for their closing. But with the MMA campus and finances intact, McGeorge says he expects more growth.
We're character-based institutions. We operate through an honor code. We hold our boys accountable and responsible. And that's an important element in society today. And it's also one that's becoming increasingly difficult to find.
McGeorge says while he is saddened by the loss, he looks forward to being Missouri's main military school. In the studio, Jared Kohler, KMU8 News.
Fox News star Bill O'Reilly is out of a job. Fox announced a few hours ago he was let go following sexual harassment allegations. A week ago, O'Reilly told viewers he was going on a previously scheduled vacation, but now the network is confirming O'Reilly will never return to Fox News. The O'Reilly Factor lost more than 60 advertisers. This follows even more allegations the 67-year-old sexually harassed women at Fox.
She said he would grunt like an animal. He would call her hot chocolate. She's African American.
In a statement, Fox said after a thorough and careful review of the allegations, the company has agreed that Bill O'Reilly will not be returning to the Fox News channel.
Felt more like summer out there today. Let's send it over to Tori for a look at the rest of the week's forecast.
Tori, thank you very much. A deadly shooting. California police are calling a hate crime what police found on the shooter's social media.
That's coming up, but first, here's a live look over the Columbia Regional Airport on this very sunny and warm day. It is 5:09, and this is KOMU 8 News, first at 5, coverage you can count on.
By midweek.
It's almost a Chamber of Commerce weather forecast. That's pretty good. Tori, thanks. The story that's been making national headlines surrounding a former football player found dead in his jail cell.
Why his attorney is asking for an investigation into the apparent suicide.
This First Alert weather update is brought to you by Academy Sports and...
A murder spree that left 3 people dead has investigators preparing for the alleged gunman's first court appearance. Witnesses say 39-year-old Corey Ali Muhammad fired 16 rounds from a revolver. Police say he shouted "God is great" in Arabic after he was arrested, and he's posted on social media saying he does not like white people. Muhammad is also suspected of killing a motel security guard on Sunday.
Former NFL star Aaron Hernandez was found dead in his jail cell this morning. Jailers believe it was a suicide. They say Hernandez attempted to block his door from the inside. His attorneys are asking for an investigation, saying there was no indication he was suicidal. Last week, Hernandez was acquitted of all charges but a gun charge in a lengthy double murder trial, but he was still serving a life sentence for a 2013 murder. President Trump signed a bill designed to help veterans today. It extends the current Veterans Choice Program, which allows many vets to seek private care. The Choice Program was put into place after an investigation into long wait times at VA hospitals. The extension gives the Veterans Affairs Agency time to develop a more comprehensive plan for alternative care.
There's air pollution everywhere, but some are exposed more than others. Find out what that means for your health coming up.
Ahead for us on Nightly News, Fox News and Bill O'Reilly parting ways. More on the sexual harassment allegations and business realities that brought him down. Also, the Supreme Court takes on one of the most important cases in decades over the separation of church and state. And important information on how to save on your health care spending on NBC Nightly News.
Many people who do not have a primary care provider or reliable insurance have to choose between a trip to urgent care or the emergency room. Experts say serious conditions and chest pains require a visit to the ER. Urgent care is normally quicker and suitable for minor conditions like a cold or even a broken bone, but both visits require some patience.
You are risk stratified according to how sick you are. So for people who have minor illnesses and injuries, your wait time is going to be significantly longer than somebody who is critically ill.
Experts say ER visits can cost $1,000 to $2,000 compared to about $125 at urgent care. A report by the American Lung Association says 125 million people live in areas with unhealthy levels of air pollution. Some cities, predominantly in California, Utah, and Nevada, are seeing more particle pollution from wildfires, factories, and vehicles. Particle pollution can cause asthma attacks, heart disease, stroke, and lung cancer. The cities with the cleanest air are mostly on the East Coast and in Hawaii.
Coming up tomorrow on KOMU 8.
A new state program will allow Missourians with disabilities to sign up for a tax-exempt savings account without losing their federal benefits. KOMU 8's Desiree Evans is here with a recap.
This account is called the ABLE account, which stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience. Those eligible to sign up for the account must meet several requirements, like having had their disability determined before age 26, and people are only allowed to deposit up to $14,000 a year. One person I spoke with says this will level the playing field for those with disabilities. The launch for the ABLE accounts will take place Monday, April 24th.
We want to know your thoughts on possible changes to a workplace discrimination bill. So this is your official invitation. Log on to our website and take the survey. It's right at the top of the website, KOMU.com.
And coming up on KOMU 8 News at 6 o'clock, choosing Mizzou over Alabama, the newest Tiger to join the MU football team. Tori.
All right, it's looking like a pretty comfortable evening for us. We're going to hang on to mainly clear skies, breezy conditions, but still really warm temperatures. We kind of hang around the upper 70s, low 80s for a good remainder of this evening. Big changes, though, come our way behind a cold front tomorrow morning, maybe a few storms early tomorrow morning.
On air, on